Hello, my name is Alyce Henson. I'm the Senior Staff Photographer at Rotary International. This photo presentation covers the pilot program of Launch Detroit. For about a year, I traveled to Detroit to document this microfinance program developed by District 6400. This is the story of some of the entrepreneurs in the first class and their Rotarian mentors. Levi Johnson Jr., Roxanne Moore, Irma Fuentes, Brianna Williams, Willie Breaks, Latricia Wright. They are 6 of the 13 entrepreneurs from the pilot program of Launch Detroit. Here, Latricia is featured in the upfront section of the Rotarian magazine shortly after becoming a member of the Rotary Club of Detroit. Larry Wright, the chair of the Launch Detroit Planning Committee, started his landscaping business with a $2,500 bank loan, just about the same amount that many of the entrepreneurs received to build their business. Rotarian Roberto Sanchez, a native of Southwest Detroit, stands in front of a colorful mural in the Mexican town community. Sanchez serves as a Launch Detroit board member and a mentor. Now I'd like to take you back to the beginning of my time with Launch Detroit. The open house started like many Rotary events. Setup, preparation, anticipation, people signing in, meeting and greeting, Rotarians meeting entrepreneurs, relationships bonding right from the beginning before anyone had even started the program. Business leaders from the community came out to find out about the program. And Rotarian Donna Schmidt was one of the many Rotarians that gave opening remarks and explained what the program was all about. It was also an opportunity for the potential entrepreneurs to talk about their business plan. T. Howard is an entrepreneur that makes cold pressed juices. She was actually the entrepreneur that suggested to the Rotarians to allow all of the business people to share their story. In the background of this photo is T's daughter, and she shares T's enthusiasm and is very supportive of her mother. By the end of the event, certain people hung around and talked one-on-one. I could see something special developing between these two. Levi became an entrepreneur, and Dr. Noel Jackson, his Rotarian business mentor. After the entrepreneurs were confirmed, we started planning our visits to spend time with them at their businesses. Knowing that we couldn't cover all of them in depth, we looked for a cross-section of business owners with varying ages, gender, and types of businesses, and elements that would be visually compelling. Brianna, the youngest and most driven business owner, was one of the entrepreneurs selected for the feature story in the Rotarian magazine. She was very excited to receive this type of exposure for her business. She started her baby boutique business in her mother's basement, and her mother sews the products. Yolanda wasn't as excited to be on camera. She loved to talk about her daughter and their business together. It took some time for her to warm up to us. Once she saw our care towards featuring her daughter and that we took an interest in her part of the story as well, she eventually came around. Brianna had no problem with us following her around going about her business. Being a savvy young businesswoman, Brianna established her online store and mail order business right from the start. With her loan, Brianna was able to make her dream come true of opening a storefront on Detroit's Avenue of Fashion. And her mother, Yolanda, has a workshop in the back of the store to create their products. Brianna and Yolanda have a solid work relationship. Brianna thrives on product design and research, And although her store is small, she takes a great deal of care in her displays and keeping them fresh. Larry and his wife, Sarah, made the decision early on to become Brianna's mentor. The pact between them has been mutual and organic. I've seen their friendship grow. Larry and Sarah have an innate ability for taking people they care about under their wings. Brianna has even involved her daughter, Winter, in modeling for her advertisements. She is an energetic business owner that cares about revitalizing her city and connecting with people in her community. Brianna says the future is bright for Detroit. I believe her, and I've seen it for myself. But I know the future is bright for Brianna, and Detroit's rebound depends on entrepreneurs like her. Levi, a Renaissance man of Detroit. A family man, involved in the church, a visual artist, the lead singer of 2 R&B bands, and the recipe creator of the mighty fine soul sauce. When he told us he got his start selling his sauce out of the trunk of his car at his concerts, I wanted to give viewers a glimpse of that combination in a portrait. Most people intend to sell CDs at their shows. Levi sells his soul sauce. He makes his sauce in his home kitchen. Levi and his wife Patty invited us to their home one evening when he was preparing a batch of sauce. He told us many stories that night, sang the song he sang to his wife on their wedding day, and shared his aspirations of moving his operation into a commercial kitchen soon. Levi's wife Patty supports his entrepreneurial move. They sing in their church choir together and share great affection for each other after many years of marriage. When we found out that Levi was an R&B singer, we were on a mission to figure out how to incorporate his passion for music into our story. Me and the producer, Kate Benshovel, grew up in the Midwest, and we share Levi's passion for the Motown sound and R&B music. We got lucky when he had a show scheduled during our last visit to Detroit. It also happened to be his 60th birthday, and his mentor and friend Noel supplied the birthday cake. I've photographed musicians and live performers for years before working at Rotary. I knew the hotel lounge in the college town did not have the same type of lighting like a place like the House of Blues. So I brought my own lighting. It was very important to me to capture the same sort of star quality with Levi, because he truly is a star. We first spent time with Irma at her hardware store a few winters ago, known as the Polar Vortex. Her store was heated by a single wood-burning stove. It was the cheapest way for her to afford the heating cost. I didn't know Irma very well at this point, and often don't have the luxury of time to get to know people before I start making requests of them. Right from the beginning, she allowed me to take her outside in the freezing temperatures to make this portrait of her in front of her store. She manages the store on her own since her husband died. If heating cost and the death of her husband weren't enough challenges, Irma is a breast cancer survivor. At times she didn't know how she would keep going and maintain the store. Most of her family is out of state. Then she became a Launch Detroit entrepreneur. Her mentor, Roberto, makes regular visits to her business. Through their connection, Irma's confidence and determination grew. Roberto became inspired to do more for Irma than just guide her through her business. He became inspired to organize Rotary work days to make over Irma's storefront. Rotarians, entrepreneurs, and volunteers pitched in over 2 days. Some of Irma's classmates came out to volunteer their time scraping and painting the facade. And interactor Dustin Kane pitched in as well. I'm always tasked with including youth program participants in RI brand visuals. Since Dustin was the only Rotary volunteer under the age of 40, he got a lot of attention from the camera that day. My shooting assignments require me to document more than the story at hand. I need to provide as many visual assets for RI publications and brandings that can be achieved in a single photo shoot. Rotarians in action and diversity, whether it's through age differences, gender, or ethnicity, has been a top priority to capture in my photos since I started working for RI over 10 years ago. Irma's beautification makeover drew plenty of attention in the neighborhood over those 2 days, which was part of the intention. People wanted to know how she was able to get this done and who all these people were. It was Rotary at its best on the ground level, demonstrating how they improve the lives of people in their own neighborhoods. Then, the moment everyone was waiting for, all of the other details were taken care of and the redesigned business sign was ready to be hung. All of the makeover decisions were made with Irma's input. Irma and the crowd watched with excitement. After the sign went up, Irma received an emotionally charged Skype call from her son stationed in Iraq to thank all the volunteers for what they had done for his mother. It was one of those rare moments that I could barely maintain my composure behind the camera. Everyone was so proud to be a part of giving her this boost. Irma's family and the volunteers proudly gather in front of the new facade. She is well known in her neighborhood. After the entrepreneurs completed the business classes, they were awarded their loan checks and had a graduation party. Irma told me that the most valuable part of the Launch Detroit experience for her was the education component. There were 5 required business classes. For her, receiving the loan at the end of the course was a bonus. Larry hand-signed all of their certificates. Rotarian Liz Smith sat with each of the recipients to explain the terms of their loans. Entrepreneur Nicole Waters addressed the Rotarians and her fellow classmates during the Launch Detroit graduation ceremony. A delighted Irma headed to the front of the banquet hall to receive her certificate and loan check. Levi was pretty thrilled as well. Classmates cheered each other on as their names were called. After receiving a microloan, continuing education, and mentoring, the entrepreneurs developed their own friendships and support network. Levi specifically asked me to take this photo with his wife Patty and Irma. Despite months of following him around with a camera and teasing me for taking so many photos of him, this was the photo he requested to be taken, which I gladly took. I hope you enjoyed my presentation of the Launch Detroit pilot program and a little glimpse of a photography assignment at Rotary International. A special thanks to all of the Rotarians from District 6400, video producer Kate Benshevel, senior video editor Brad Cowan, writer Sally Ann Price, and of course, all the entrepreneurs from the first class of the Launch Detroit pilot program. We wish you much success.